Hi, this is Paul Hoyt, the CEO of Ascending Harvest, welcoming you to our daily Zoomcast message where we're going to talk about a little bit of progress updates on Ascending Harvest. And today we're going to talk about one of my favorite subjects, but we'll let you know what that is here in a little bit. I'm here with my best buddy, inventor, business partner, Shane McKenna. Say hello to the folks. There you are.
Hi, are we figuring everything out here?
Yeah, I'm hearing a little echo on your side, Shane. I'm not
Yeah, I had to turn my sound down on my laptop, and so I've got that taken care of. I think I've got my camera adjusted. I think everything's working now.
So, like, this is the way you wanted to look? This is it?
For everybody out there, we literally do not rehearse this at all. In fact, Paul called me 3 minutes after the hour and said, "Hey, where are you at?" And I'm like, "What do you mean, where am I at?" And he said, "We're supposed to be live right now." I'm like, "Oh, crap." So you're getting the very unvarnished version of Shane today.
Yeah. Amen. I get the unvarnished version of Shane a lot.
Yes.
It's pretty cool, frankly. It's pretty cool.
ADD, the struggle is real. So, Paul, are we talking about something today? I know what we're talking about, but I just thought I'd check in to see if I know what we're talking about.
Well, you're going to have to wait just a little bit longer because we want to talk to people about what is really the most important thing, which is the crowdfunding campaign starts tomorrow. So sometime tonight, maybe even after, midnight East Coast time, we'll make the Indiegogo campaign live and give you the opportunity to make your contributions and to share it in your social media networks, etc. And we are very, very excited about that because we really do believe that we have an opportunity to disrupt the challenge of hunger around the world, that Shane's invention, this advanced technology in intelligent grow media and human-powered hydroponics, really does have the opportunity to end world hunger, in some period of time because of what he's invented. I think it's really cool, and frankly, the more I learn about it, the more I really understand how plants work, how intelligent grow media works, how human-powered hydroponic works. I get more excited literally every day when we talk to people who have African aid organizations and we talk to other engineers and scientists. I really sense the momentum is just starting to build. This train is just now leaving the station, and I'm really excited to see what it looks like when it picks up to running like 80 miles an hour down the tracks. So I'm pumped up, fired up. I want you to be too, because this is your opportunity to play the game with us, to contribute, to share, to help this be one of the most successful crowdfunding campaigns ever. There we go. That's what I'm fired up about. How about you, Shane?
I am so fired up about this. And a lot of people probably don't understand this, but I'm going to put some context to this. So I have an associate who is a professor of engineering at BYU. And it was 8 or 10 years ago, maybe a little bit longer. And he said to me, Shane, it's kind of crazy to pursue innovation in mechanical engineering because, in particular, patents, because so many things have already been invented. It's really hard to get a mechanical engineering patent. And he's right. He's right. It is hard to get a mechanical engineering patent because there's so many things that have been invented, especially in the space that we're playing in. But this technology, if we get all of the utility patents that we potentially could get in this system, we'll end up with 6 utility patents. That's how different it is. There has literally never been anything remotely close to what we've created and what we're bringing to humanitarian effort to feed the world. There's never been anything like it. And while I'm happy to say that my friend who while he's very knowledgeable and knowledgeable enough to be an engineering professor at BYU, he's wrong. There's lots of room for innovation, and there's lots of room for people who want to be good and do good in the world. And our project is just evidence of one of them that has an opportunity to change the world.
Amen to that. And which kind of brings me to what I wanted to talk about today, which is something that's really hit me over the last few days, and that is something that is summarized something like this. The more good we do, the more opportunities we have to do good. And the reason of that is because of economies of scale. So if we produce, 5,000 systems a month, we can produce them at a particular cost and particular price to the charities who would buy them from us and then distribute them to the communities they serve. But if we can get to 50,000 units a month or 100,000 units a month, then we have an opportunity to help a lot more people. There's really two reasons for that. Number one is a psychological mindset kind of a reason. When you hit brand awareness, when you hit top of mind awareness with everybody, it's like everybody wants one. So your marketing dollars costs go down. People are calling you instead of you reaching out to them. They're really wanting more and more of what you need, which means that part of your overall operating expense really goes down considerably because you don't have to spend any money finding new customers because they're knocking on your door all the time. And the second way, and the most important way to me, is that your cost of delivery goes down. So what we find is that when you buy components, a $1 component when you're buying 1,000 of them, may only cost you like 80 cents or 90 cents if you're buying 10,000 of them. May only cost you 75 cents if you're buying 100,000 of them. And at some point in time, you might even get to the point to where you're able to capture your own manufacturing or assembly facilities and even lower your cost even more. So I've done some brief calculations on that, and I know that if we can get to the point where we're delivering 100,000 systems a month, and that's only 1.2 million a year, and by the way, 1 billion people out there need it, so we'd have to go a long ways at 1.2 million a year to satisfy that demand. If we can get to that level, we can produce these things for dramatically less cost than we're able to produce them for the first 1,000 or 5,000. Now, why, you may ask, how does that help you? How does that help us help other people? It's because we're a social enterprise company. We are not focused on, world domination. We're not focused on giving our investors 1,000% return on their monies. We're not focused, Shane and I are not focused on $1 million a year salaries. We don't need to spend our money that way at all. We need to take care of ourselves and our families and make reasonable, living wage for ourselves, but we don't need to pad our pocketbooks, very much. Large companies, by the way, have a tendency to pay their executives $500,000, $1 million a year. I don't expect to be paid $1 million a year, and I don't expect Shane to be doing that either. Even if we're producing, $20, $30 million a year in revenues. So because we're a social enterprise company, we are passionate and determined to deliver our products to our customers at the lowest reasonable price. Not the lowest possible price, but the lowest reasonable price. A price that allows us to pay ourselves and our families the way we want and allows us to invest in R&D and allow us to invest in a little bit in market expansion. But I see our operating costs not going up anywhere close to the rate that our revenues go up. And that means that the more people that we serve, the more people we are able to serve because the price goes down and the brand awareness goes up. So I get very, very excited about that. The economies of scale at a social enterprise company are far greater than the economies of scale with a company like Apple or even Facebook, who have goals of giving their investors a substantial return on their investment. So that's what I'm excited about today.
Yeah. Can I make a comment here, and then I want to ask you a question?
Please do.
So I want to just give an example of this economies of scale. So right now, the pump that goes into one of our systems is 3D printed. And because of the type of 3D printing it is, that has to be watertight and airtight, and it has to have a very smooth surface finish in order to function properly and efficiently, that pump costs us about $125 to 3D print.
Wow.
When we make our first mold and start injection molding that pump, one pump at a time in an injection molding process, that pump will cost us 60 cents each. When we start producing 10,000 units, 50,000 units, 100,000 units a month, we will go to what's called a multi-up mold, which means that they mold multiple pumps with one impression of the injection molding machine. And the amount of plastic that goes into our pump is only about 6 cents worth of plastic. And an impression is only about $1 per impression with a multi-up mold. So if we're producing 10 pumps in a mold, then that means our pump will cost about 16 cents. So we go from prototyping at $125 down to mass production of 16 cents a unit.
Wow.
When we're producing that part of the system for only 16 cents, imagine how much less expensive we can offer that. Because the thing is the other thing about business is you have to take whatever your operating costs, whatever you purchase, you have to put margin on top of that in order to stay healthy. You just cannot function a company without margin on top of that. So it's not just that the pump will only cost 16 cents. It's that we also reduce that margin significantly because we're getting the pump for 16 cents. So it just, those economies of scale escalate your savings and allow you to offer products to the market at a dramatically reduced price. That's why there's dollar stores in existence, because those products in those dollar stores are produced in the hundreds of thousands of units per month, and so they're able to put them on a shelf for less than $1.
Amen to that. You know, and I've done a lot of financial projections for companies over the last 17 years as a business consultant, and that's one of the things that we always factor into it, that as your volume increases, your actual cost goes down because your component cost goes down, your labor cost goes down per unit, you know, et cetera. A lot of costs go down as the volume increases. As the volume increases, your operating expenses also increase, but your operating expenses don't increase at near the pace that your revenues and gross profit increases. And with a social enterprise company, the operating expense increases are not nearly as great as they are with a company that is passionate about giving their investors the greatest return on investment, because you can hold those things down. We don't need to have fancy offices. We don't need to have a mahogany, you know, boardroom. We don't need to have, as you can tell, Shane and I are not great fancy people. We don't, I don't, well, especially Shane, right? So
Speak
we don't.
for yourself, Paul.
Oh, yeah, okay. So but we don't. I know at my tender age, I could give a hoot about whether or not I'm wearing a $10 tie or a $50 tie. I just prefer not to wear any tie whatsoever.
Yeah, right. For real.
We could take all that money that we save on, you know, on satisfying our own vanity and leave that in the company to let that be part of the operating expenses and to reduce the overall cost of delivery of these systems. Again, the bottom line is, and I can spout a lot of numbers to you, but the bottom line is it costs us a lot less to deliver these units when we're delivering them 100,000 units a month than it does when we're delivering them 1,000 units a month. A lot less. And that means we can serve more and more and more people, because the donation dollars go a lot further, that our systems will become more streamlined, that everything becomes more efficient, that we become more productive, that over time that we make minor little tweaks on the system that allow us to grow food faster and less expensively than we can today. So I'm excited about this taking off. I'm excited about us getting to the milestones of 1,000 units a month, 5,000 units a month, 10,000 units a month, 100,000 units a month. And when we do that, we've got a real opportunity to make a huge dent in world hunger. If we can get to where we're delivering 1 million units a month, then we're really making a difference. We're really changing the lives of people in developing countries and refugee camps all around the world. And I believe that we can do that. 1 million units a month may only be $30 or $40 million. And when you take a look at huge companies, a company like Apple or Google or somewhere that would take 1% of their profits and dedicate it to this cause, we could get 10 very large companies to say, we believe in ascending harvest, we believe in human-powered hydroponics, we want to help you end world hunger. We can do that. And that's the future that I see for us.
So, Paul, I didn't get to my question, which I'm going to get to now. But you actually, your comment had a great lead in to my question.
Okay.
My question is I know you've done some math on this. What is the impact of 1 million units? Let's give our listeners a perspective on what is the impact of 1 million units. Like, what does 1 million units cost to deliver, and what's the production out of those 1 million units? Have you done that math?
I'm going to get your help on the production of them, but I think that we can, with 1 million units, lower our costs to around $25 per unit, maybe even less. But I don't want to set people's expectations at it being too much less than that. But at $25 a unit, that means that instead of a charity, taking $50 and delivering 1 unit, that they can take that same $50 and deliver 2 units, which is substantial. And at $25 a unit, generating, say, 200 pounds of produce over the lifetime of the unit, that means that $25 investment in a human-powered hydroponic system, produced $200 worth or more of produce, which is almost a 10 to 1, a 10x ROI for that charity. Instead of giving somebody $25 of food, we give them the opportunity to grow their own food worth $200 or more. And that is awesome.
Right. So what we're literally talking about is, and that 200 pounds of food, or maybe you're just talking about dollars, but that's actually a very conservative estimate on what a system would produce over the lifetime of the system. It would not be unreasonable to expect 1 million systems, for each of those systems to produce 3, 4, even 500 or 600 pounds of food over the lifetime of that system. So you start multiplying 1 million times 300 to 600 pounds of food each. Now you're talking about 300 million, 600 million pounds of food. Just imagine that. Just imagine the impact that has. And these are people who are producing that food in their own community. It doesn't have to be shipped to them. It doesn't have to sit on a shelf. They can trade it immediately for goods and services that they need. It lifts up their whole community, because not only are they producing food, but they're producing a income and barter commodity that is developing the rest of the community. So suddenly someone who has some kind of a craft, they can repair homes, or they have some other thing that has value in the community. Maybe they have a cart, maybe they have a vehicle, maybe they transport people and goods. there's a lot of other things that people do in the community that they can trade for food. And if there's somebody in the community, multiple people in the community producing food, that lifts the whole economy of that community. So we're not just talking about, empowering an individual. We empower the community through that individual empowerment, and millions of units are going to make a huge impact on the world. So it sounds like hyperbole when Paul talks about ending world hunger in our lifetime, but it really is possible. We just have to empower people, and most of the people who are in situations of hunger and poverty are going to lift themselves out of it once they have something that empowers them. So maybe it's not our system, maybe it's another technology that empowers them, but our technology is certainly a technology that can play a crucial role in that individual and community empowerment.
I love it. And I believe that's going to happen. I believe we've hit the inevitability factor or the line with our particular company, and it's going to happen. It starts tomorrow with our crowdfunding campaign. Then it continues as we develop relationships with agencies, with NGOs, non-governmental organizations, nonprofit agencies, charities, foundations, trusts, and governmental agencies who are focused on supporting people, on helping people around the world. When we form those relationships and get in the money for our first 1,000 systems, our first 10,000 systems, our first 100,000 systems, we'll be on our way. It all starts with you. Starts with you giving us $1 or $2 tomorrow, and on sharing it in your social media so that you give other people the opportunity to be part of this winning team that is focused and determined to end world hunger. I'm very fired up about that.
Yeah, it's been such a long dream. I'm actually going to get emotional here if I'm not careful. It's been such a long journey, and there's been moments in that journey, the aha moments of discovery, and the impact of those moments and the realization in those moments. Wow, look what we have. Look what we can do with this. And I've had to keep that somewhat bottled up, and because it takes a lot of energy to build a business. I think it actually takes more energy to build a crowdfunding than it does to build a business. After having gone through all of the effort that we've put towards putting this crowdfunding together, I've started businesses that have been a lot easier than putting this crowdfunding together. Excuse me. But this is what we need to do in order to avoid bringing investors into the process and having to and needing to satisfy the desires and needs of those investors. It literally allows us to stay completely focused on this humanitarian effort that we are absolutely determined to see through and see happen, going this much harder route of putting together crowdfunding and working at promoting it with so many people and getting enough eyeballs on it to make it successful is absolutely the hard way to go. But the hard way to go ensures that our efforts will stay true to our mission and vision, and that's what Paul and I are absolutely dedicated to. I want you to know that Paul and I will take your intentions and your contributions to change the world, and we will empower people with that. We absolutely will. You can rest assured. You have my word, and I know you have Paul's word.
Amen.
So thank you for your participation.
Yeah. Let's close with that, because that was just absolutely beautiful. I love the fact that you get passionate and emotional about this, because you've been working on it for 31 years. You can get passionate and emotional, and I'll just freaking get excited. One of the things I get excited about is the opportunity at the end of every one of these Zoomcasts to give away a human-powered hydroponic system. So we do that by having Shane give me a number between 1 and 10,000, and we match it up to a list that I got from our website. So Shane, give me the number.
All right, I'm going to push generate right now. And the number, we had a low number yesterday too. This number is 460, 460.
And the winner today is somebody that I know I'm going to mispronounce this name. The name is Taiwo Ogunkwade. Ogunkwade. I think it's an African name that I'm not pronouncing right. It's Ogunkuade. And first name's Taiwo, T-A-I-W-O. So congratulations, Taiwo. You are the winner of a human-powered hydroponic system. We will ship one to you when we hit production in Q1 of 2019, or you can donate it to a family in need at that time in your name. We appreciate you. For all of you who have not done so yet, please go to ascendingharvest.com and give us your email address so we can continue to give you email updates. In addition to these live stream updates that you're going to get every day for the next few weeks as we conduct our crowdfunding campaign, we're also going to send out more extensive email updates as well that will, and you can share those with your list, with people in your particular community, which will be very, very helpful to us. So I think that's it for me today. Stay tuned. The crowdfunding campaign starts in about 12 hours. We'll give you an opportunity to contribute and share from our Indiegogo crowdfunding campaign. And thank you in advance for supporting us in this effort and for supporting the families that we are all going to serve through the proliferation of human-powered hydroponics.
Thank you so much. I am absolutely in awe and joy that we just picked a winner from Africa. We've got a lot of charities that we've already talked to that are excited to distribute to Africa, but it really touches my heart that that somebody from Africa just won one of our systems. I'm excited to see how it touches their life and all the lives that we touch. Thank you so much, everybody, for supporting us. Stay tuned tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be a big day, and we hope that you follow us closely tomorrow and beyond. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye-bye. We'll see you tomorrow.
All right. Bye.